Hey everyone, welcome back to another Daily Tri video. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. We're continuing on today with our Daily Tri Awards, and today it's about the top 9 performances. And boy, was this one a hard one to put together. I had a list of about 15 performances that I constantly moved around, and this is what I ended up sticking with. This is just going to be a long course racing, as I think it's easier to compare the performances and athletes than adding in short course as well. Starting off at number 9, I picked Ben Canute's performance at the 70.3 World Championship. For Ben, this was a performance of a lifetime, especially coming off of what was a rough year for him. This ended up being his second time finishing second at 70.3 Worlds, and this was a really strong field. He had the perfect all-around day, starting off with a fantastic swim, but it was really the bike leg that shocked me. I couldn't believe he managed to stick with the front pack for pretty much the entire ride, and he probably went out of his comfort zone to do so. He had to hold on to Blumenfeld, Ditlev, and Funk after all. Unfortunately, on the downhill back into town, he just didn't quite have the gears to keep up, but man did he have the gears when he needed to on the run. Ben really made this race to watch when he caught up to and challenged Christian on the run. I'm sure if you watch this, you were rooting for him like me, and unfortunately, Christian was just too good for Ben. But still, I thought it was a ridiculous all-around performance that saw Ben put his name above some serious contenders on the day and above some serious names on my list. I don't think he should go any higher on the list, unfortunately, because some of the next performances that were even better. At number 8, I've got Colin Chartier's performance at the US Open. I originally had Blumenfeld here from 70.3 Worlds, but I think his performance wasn't as epic for him as it could have been. It looked like he was in third gear on the run, and although it might have been one of the most dominant performances, I don't think it was his best. But for Colin, on the other hand, his performance in the heat in Dallas was truly remarkable. The PTO US Open had pretty much everyone there, minus the Norwegians. He was out of the water with the front pack and then did something similar to what Ben did and decided to stay with the big guns on the bike. And remember, his bike is a used bike bought on Facebook Marketplace because he had almost no sponsors at the time. He came from almost nowhere. Then, coming off the bike behind Sam and Magnus, he started to really turn up the heat, as if it wasn't hot enough already, and paced his run to perfection. He looked comfortable almost all day to dominate everyone. He's number 8 here because I would have liked to have seen how he would have competed if those Norwegians were actually there. At number 7, we're going back to St. George World Champs for Taylor Knibb's domination. This performance was almost hard to watch, in my opinion. She made the race feel like it had almost ended before it even began. She got out of the water with Lucy again like she did at the US Open, and then said see you later to everybody on her TT bike, leaving everyone else fighting for second. It was remarkable considering she'd only raced a few times since injury and was competing against the best names in the sport. Her bike is truly the best female bike in the sport at the moment alongside Daniela Ryf, and I can't imagine what she's going to do in the future. This was a performance that makes everyone in the female sport take a step back and realize how far they've got to go to be on the top spot. The only reason it wasn't higher for me is because I would like to see her run split be a little quicker, but I'm sure it will be in the coming year as she returns from this injury. At number 6, I put Max Newman's insane performance at Kona. I debated about putting this one higher because on any other day, this otherworldly performance would have won the race. In fact, on any other year in Kona, it obliterated the record. He swam with the front pack, had insanely fast transitions, pushing the bike hard at the beginning before Sam Laidlow joined him, and then he strategically never took a turn at the front of the race until he started running. The commentators barely knew who Max was and certainly didn't expect him to be challenging the Norwegians. He just wasn't quite able to hold the pace, but man oh man will this guy be a favorite in 2024 in Kona for real. At number 5, I've got the ridiculous Ironman Hamburg performance by Laura Philipp. After missing St. George World Champs due to COVID, Laura was ready to set the record straight that she would have challenged for that title. And she proved it alright with the fastest ever female Ironman time and just 8 seconds off Chrissy Wellington's Iron distance time. She swam with Chelsea Sodaro, outbiked everyone, and then ran a 2:45 marathon to top it all off. Unbelievable. At number 4, I've got Daniela Ryf's performance in St. George. When everyone was criticizing her recent performances and doubting her abilities, Daniela Ryf put herself on another planet compared to her competitors on this day. She biked. At number 3, I've got Chelsea's performance at Kona. Now this one might get me in trouble for not being higher on the list, as she blew all of her minds as a Kona rookie and new mother and had the perfect race from start to finish. She outswam most of her immediate competitors like Daniela Reeve, Flora Phillip, and Annie Haug, and then she biked exactly as she would have wanted to within her numbers. This landed her within perfect striking distance on the run, and strike she did. Many, like myself, thought she was probably going out too hot on the run, but she never looked like she was gonna fade. It's hard to point out anything wrong with this one, and I wonder if she would have been good enough to beat Daniela or Lucy on their day. And the only reason it's not higher on this list because the next two otherworldly performances just happen to be in the same year as hers. At number 2, I've got Sam Laidlow's performance in Kona as well. Sam led parts of the swim, biked straight to the front of the race, pulled Max Newman along, helped both the Norwegians and Magnus at times, and then said, "I'm gonna make one of the most insane moments in Kona history by ripping apart the return leg from Javi, where he biked 6 minutes into the pack he was just with, smashed the pro cyclist Cam Wurf's bike course record by over 5 minutes, and pulling off his best ever marathon to almost win the race. Despite finishing in second place, he won the respect of thousands, and most notably the 2 Norwegians who he split on the podium. Absolute insanity. The only reason he wasn't number 1, both in Kona and on my list, is because of Gustav Iden's performance, which might not only be the best performance this year, but possibly the best Ironman performance of all time. He smashed everyone. 2 minutes quicker than Laidlow, 3 minutes quicker than Christian, and 15 to 20 minutes than most of the top 10. Jan Frodeno's record looked like a poor performance in comparison to the times Gustav just put out. He swam a front pack, biked at the bike course record pace, and then ran Kona's fastest ever marathon by over 3 minutes to set a time that is hard to believe of 7 hours and 40 minutes. It's almost hard to write a description about this performance, but that's the best I could do. I hope we see him again defending his title in Kona in 2024. Well, that was another tough video to make, as some of these performances were impossible to rank and compare. Let me know yours in the comments, or what I definitely got wrong. Like I said, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. Try every day.